And welcome everyone back to another episode of Macro Crypto, where we talk about anything and everything involving the crypto space. Today is reserved for the king of crypto, Bitcoin. We're going to be discussing what has happened over the past week, as well as discussing why Bitcoin is such a huge play for financial freedom purposes within your portfolio, and then reviewing how to build financial wealth through dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin and smart contract platforms like Ethereum. Remember, if you do enjoy this content, like, subscribe, and head over to our Twitter page at Macro Crypto Club. And go ahead, give us a follow. Like always, link will be down in the description. Let's dive into today's content. We're looking at the weekly Heikin Ashi Candles to give us a view of where we're trending, trying to remove the noise at the end of the day. And it's not looking pretty. We turned red yesterday, and we're back into a long downtrend candle with a wick at the bottom, no shadows above. And after a successful 2 weeks of back-to-back greens, where we're trending, it's not great. But remember, we're a macro channel. We have a long-term view in regards to Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So just keep that in mind when we are looking at this view of where we're heading. We're only going up at the end of the day, right? We're kind of right now currently stuck in that no man's land. We don't know whether we're going to trend down or up. Currently, right now, we're looking at a logarithmic regression bands, and at that top is that maximum bubble territory. At the bottom, it's basically a fire sale. So it kind of gives you a different view. I'll throw this link in the description if you want to take a further look at it. Basically, this could continue trending down into that where we can get really cheap Bitcoin, or maybe we have a reversal and we have a blow off top later this year in 2022. Nobody knows. I don't know. The person that you are watching on YouTube and at another channel doesn't know. But at the end of the day, just getting yourselves better and better positions along the way is only going to help give you financial freedom and more wealth at the end of the day. Just keep that in mind as we, do this on a monthly and a yearly basis to keep pushing more Bitcoin and the other assets that you believe are going to give you the most financial wealth at when this is all said and done. So coming right back after that little bit of a rant to this Bitcoin rainbow chart, we'll use this for our dollar costing averaging purposes as well, so that when we are in a basic fire sale, then we can use that as a chance to allocate more funds into Bitcoin and other smart contract platforms like Ethereum. And then when we're at the very top of this, we're going to be able to take some off, and kind of remove ourselves from positions. That way we have funds to reallocate back into Bitcoin later, but eventually realize that these logarithmic regression bands will eventually not matter. The game will change down the line. This isn't going to be like if it hasn't already. So just keep that in mind, that we only use these data charts because they've proven successful in the past. So we'll continue using them until proven otherwise. And so quickly looking at the Ethereum rainbow chart, same thing. We're in no man's land, whether we're going up or down within the next, 6 to a year timeline. Nobody truly knows, but we'll continue covering it on a weekly basis. And going into why we're in a position we are currently in is because of the tensions between Russia and Ukraine. This is not a geopolitical channel by any means, but we're going to talk about it just in the sense that, hey, how this turns out is going to affect the markets across the world. And the cryptocurrency market is no different than the NASDAQ or, a stock market within Japan. They're all going to be affected by the tensions within Ukraine and Russia. Currently, Russia just took over 2 territories, or that they claimed those territories as they became independent, and now Russia claims them. So how those are going to affect all this moving forward, hopefully Biden and Putin can meet later this week and find resolution, and we can get these markets back on track instead of such a bearish stage. And, only time's going to tell with that, but we can only hope that no war ensues between these two countries and no other countries get involved. Keep the peace and keep these markets trending bullish, right? Now, getting away from why we're in our current position, why Bitcoin is so vital for your position is because of all the news coming out of Canada. We're talking about that, whether you agree or disagree with the truck convoy, that's all up to you. And the main thing out of it is that they were able to freeze bank accounts for these truckers. And then also within Canada, they also had a suit also that directed several financial institutions, platforms, and exchanges to freeze any transactions related to identified address wallets. So this is within the crypto space, not even just talking about their bank accounts with fiat. The financial institutions include TD Canada Trust and ATB Financial, and fundraising platforms and websites include GoFundMe and GiveSendGo. Digital asset platforms and exchanges listed were Bull Bitcoin, Tallycoin, BitBuy, ShakePay, Satoshi Portal, Bills, Binance Smart Chain, PancakeSwap, and Nunchuck. Now, the reason why we also talk about this is because they sent this for the freeze their exchanges, or they freeze the addresses on those exchanges, which is totally possible. So if you have your Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies on exchanges, the government can come in there and freeze those accounts and you can't move them. Now, because you do not own the private keys for those addresses. So if you don't own your private keys, they're not your funds at the end of the day. It's reality. Now, the reason also talking about this specific article is because Nunchuck is a little bit separate from them, okay? They are self-custodial, a collaborative multi-sig Bitcoin wallet. We are a software provider, not a custodial financial intermediary. So they sent this news. They basically got a letter from the Supreme Court in Ottawa, sent this back to them, and this was their response. We do not collect any user identification information beyond email addresses. We also do not hold any keys. Therefore, we cannot freeze our users' assets. We cannot prevent them from being moved. We do not have knowledge of the existence, nature, value, and location of our users' assets. This is by design. Please look up how self-custody and private keys work. When the Canadian dollar becomes worthless, we will be here to serve you too. Sincerely, the Nunchuck team. Just ruthless and savage on all parts in regards to the Nunchuck team. Hats off to you. Basically, understand that Canadians or the Canadian government was trying to freeze access for Bitcoin to be sent. But if it's a peer-to-peer wallet and it's off exchange, you can't stop it. Okay. I have capability of sending that Bitcoin or that cryptocurrency as long as it's my private keys and I own that. Then the Canadian government has no way of stopping this moving forward. And a little bit more in depth, I'll also link this Twitter thread right here in the description as well. But it basically goes over that there is no other constitutional rights in substance without freedom to transact. So if the government's taken away your opportunity to transact, it's taken away almost all freedoms involved. And that's just my opinion on that. I'll let you review this thread in a little bit further detail, and then you can kind of throw your opinion in the comment section as well. Now, to get outside of that on what Bitcoin is, how that affects financial freedom, also want to bring up that Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful himself, thinks that Bitcoin will dramatically appreciate within the next 2-3 years. And basically, this individual has been red-pilled. He used to call it Bitcoin like worthless and garbage, and now can see the idea that Bitcoin is not just a store of value, that there's also opportunity that it's currency or it's a way to value energy across different parts of the world. Bitcoin is different is something different to everybody. So just hopefully you understand that, as well as it just not as a store of value or it's just not a currency. Bitcoin is evolving, adapting, and becoming something different to everybody across the world. It is so massive, and the adoption will just continue being an exponential growth across whether it's institutions or retail investors like myself into the space and what Bitcoin can become at the end of the day. I don't think anyone has tapped into that potential yet. And that's an opinion through why I'm so bullish on the Bitcoin network in general. Also, Bitcoin is shaping up to enter a bear market and likely won't recover until 2025. Co-founder of Wobi Crypto Exchange says, basically understand that you're going to start seeing a lot of this news, especially as the trend is down and bearish right now. I still hold faith that we're going to see a reversal at some point this year, as long as these tensions between Russia and Ukraine subside. There's so many different factors at play here that is outside just the market. So, it's a wait and see approach. But when you got people saying that, hey, this is the long bear market we're about to see, I don't know what data they're looking at, but we still have an opportunity to be very successful in the short term here. So, short term, wait and see approach, right? At the end of the day, who knows? Also, very bullish news. Argentina, 50% inflation, has crypto credit cards booming within the nation. So many individuals running to credit cards that involve crypto within the state of Argentina. They've been red pilled, or at least their retail has been red pilled, which is just massive news for Bitcoin in general. And the inflation across the entire world is massive. So let's just see how that continues to evolve and change within the crypto space itself, especially Bitcoin. Do want to hit on that. The state senator of Arizona, we talked about this before, has put in a bill to make legal tender of Bitcoin within Arizona legal. Hasn't been voted on yet. Also, Illinois, Georgia want to give tax cuts to Bitcoin miners within their states. And then this news just dropped today. There was a bill introduced by Senator Kamalager, I believe. This was back on the 18th, actually, of February, that a state agency may accept cryptocurrency as a method of payments for the provisions of government services. And this is within the state of California. So even more bullish news within the United States itself. Multiple states looking for legal tender purposes for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. And also want to hit on that we do have the Bitcoin 2022 conference coming April 6th and the 9th. That's going to be in Miami, Florida. You got confirmed speakers that are just Jordan Peterson. If you don't know who he is, get a chance to look him up, philosopher within Canada. You have Nayib Bukele, if I butchered that, apologies. That's the president of El Salvador, which has already made Bitcoin legal tender, first country to do so. Michael Saylor is going to be speaking, just the biggest bull of them all within the crypto space. Cynthia Loomis within a huge Bitcoin advocate within the U.S. Senate as well, out of Wyoming. Kathy Wood of ARK Investments. You got Joe Jorgensen and Andrew Yang, both who ran for president for the United States. Andrew Yang was for the Democratic Party, and Joe Jorgensen was for the can't remember the Green Party, but basically libertarians. Sorry, just drew a blank there. And the individual I do want to bring up, I'll throw a link in provided for an interview that Robert Breedlove did. Super intelligent individual talking about what money is, has his own podcast, but basically goes in depth on why Bitcoin is so important for our future as a society. And do want to kind of hit on, if you do want to go and get yourself involved with this Bitcoin conference in Miami, you can have this, basically there is a festival pass for $110, but if you want to hear these individuals talk, it's almost costing $900 for a general admission pass for 2 days, plus you get the festival pass as well. Then there's some ungodly industry pass, and then the whale pass of $1,600 approximately after taxes probably, which I don't have, or I'm not going to spend with it. But lastly, before we end this video, we are going to talk about the crypto DCA. Currently right now on the 21st, we're throwing another $100 into Bitcoin, lower price, getting ourselves some Satoshis. Remember, we're stacking Satoshis, sats, and as many as we can get on a weekly basis. We're comparing that against if we use $400 or the same amount allocated at a one time at the beginning of the month, compared if we spread it out weekly, where we're currently at. So still monthly we have more, but we still are 1 week away from adding another $100 to our sats. Satoshis is the lowest unit within Bitcoin. Eventually, you want to have as many Satoshis as possible. So currently right now, just with about 800 here, and we got 700 within the weekly. We're still almost, both of them near almost 2 million Satoshis. We're currently at a loss with the current value of Bitcoin as of today, and this has actually dropped since we did this. So our monthly is at almost $100 loss, and our weekly is just a little more than $42 for a loss currently within that portfolio move. Now, heading over to our smart contracts, we added $100 across the board for ETH, DOT, ADA, Tron, Solana, Luna, Avalanche, Cosmos and Binance Smart Chain. Told you I was going to add those two as well. And as we head over to give you, still Tron has the lowest profit. Doesn't have a lot of movement up and down depending on where the markets are trending, but we have only lost $16.57 through Tron currently. And then, of course, our second lowest was Avalanche, actually, which is not a surprise. Then Ethereum, and we're taking a huge hit with Polkadot, Cardano, as well as Solana to round out the bottom there. So we're always just looking at ways to provide, benefit for you to understand through Bitcoin and other avenues to build financial wealth and financial freedom at the end of the day, whether that is through Bitcoin, the king of crypto, or through other smart contract platforms. I hope you enjoyed today's content. If you do enjoy, like, subscribe, and head over to that Twitter page, everybody. Until next time, peace.